Hi guys, this is Pamela Fagan Hutchins, and I'm wearing a Bouchercon name tag. Look at this, how gauche of me. But I am at Bouchercon for special editions, plural, of Wine, Women, and Writing. And what better place to have it than a convention of authors and readers, which is what Bouchercon is here in Dallas. So that gives me a backstage pass to talk to authors that I'm fans of and get to share with you at warp speed tons of great interviews and tons of great books. So these are off the schedule, just impromptu. Who can I grab in the hallway? Now, if you would like to subscribe to the podcast feed, the RSS for this, to your favorite device, it's totally free. And you can do that at PamelaFaganHutchins.com, where you can also support the show if you'd like. And if you do, I'm going to name a child after you, and I'm not going to give you any money because I don't really make any at writing. We don't make any. No, we make no money writing. It's an obsession, not a money-making career. But really would appreciate it because my goal is to bring other female writers to your attention and help you enjoy the complex, authentic female characters that they create out of their fertile imaginations and sometimes their real life experiences. And while you're out there, if you want to read my USA Today best-selling novels, you just knock yourself out, okay? But it's not required. All I really want is for you to listen to the show. And so now, on to the show, and our guest for this hour, Kim Black, or Kimberly, I should say, Black.
Either way is fine.
I've known Kim
for a long time.
And I can't say that about everyone that I run into, though sometimes it feels like it, but we've known each other since childhood, really.
Yes, yeah.
So tell us about you and where you're from, what you do, just a little teaser.
I am from Amarillo, Texas, which is right dead center of the Panhandle.
As am I.
Yes, I was going to say. We've known each other since high school. Mm-hmm. And my goodness, I don't know what else to say. I've been married for 35 years almost.
Her husband bought our drinks.
He's really good.
By the way, these are called Drop Dead Reds. If you're watching on video, you can see this lovely special made for Bouchercon murder martini. So thank you, Riley. And you are a mom. You have been writing for years.
I've been writing for a long time. I've been published for several years.
Awesome.
Not as long as I've been writing, but
and none of us have.
Exactly.
You don't want our first books.
No. I started out with historical Christian fiction, and I've got 2 novels that way. I've got 2 children's books, and then I've got my series of spy novels,
which are the newest addition to your library of offerings, if you will.
Yes.
And by the way, if you are enjoying the vibe here, that's because we're in a bar. You could have guessed that from the drinks, but the music just cranked up, and it's going to give us a special ambiance, and people are starting to show up. I'm not seeing that many Drop Dead Reds yet. We're trendsetters, so it's sure to happen soon. So Kim is a member of a writers group that's fabulous in Amarillo, Texas, that I once had the opportunity to go speak at, and it was when I was there that I realized, looking around Amarillo, Texas, which many of you may not have thought of as the hotbed of literary achievement in the country. You may be thinking it's New York or even, West Coast. It's not. It's Amarillo, Texas.
It's Amarillo.
It's totally Amarillo. It's not just us,
no.
but it is also Jody Thomas. It is Marcy McKay. It is
Linda Brody.
Linda Brody.
A.G. Howard.
There you go. So, little town, big words, or lots of words.
Lots of words.
Yeah. And so anyway, next time you're trying to pinpoint where is the center of the literary universe.
It's right in the center of the United States.
In the center of the Panhandle, one of those flyover states.
Yes.
So Kim, as she said, she writes children, she writes historical Christian fiction, and she writes suspense mystery thriller, which is what brought her to Bouchercon. So that brings us all the way up to, let's talk about the books that have you here in your series. The Little Black
Dress Project series includes Little Black Dress and Red Heels, and Bare Essentials.
Now, I'm not familiar with Bare Essentials. Is it out yet?
It is out this last year. It is super fun. It kind of wraps up that story, so it's a continuation. I was just thinking the books themselves, all 3 books, really take place over about a 3-month span.
I love that. I love the tension in events that are just spinning out of control and carrying the reader and the characters with them.
Yes.
So start with the beginning, with the Little Black Dress Project and the first book. Tell us a little bit about it so readers can dive in from the beginning.
Okay. My main character is Evan Tyler. She is a Texas girl, a redhead, that has become a fashion model through working her way through college. And she's in Europe doing the fashion scene when she's recruited to be an intelligence agent.
Awesome.
So she gets on this team, and she is field testing a prototype called the Little Black Dress. And it is basically James Bond's car.
Exactly.
It's like if Audrey Hepburn was James Bond, this is the series. So
that's perfect.
It is.
Audrey Hepburn meets James Bond. Breakfast at Tiffany's meets
Yes. Yes. So she's the dress has surveillance equipment. It has body armor. It has a few little weapons here and there. And then the second one continues the basic story. She gets some red heels, because what's more obvious than you've got to have an extra pair of shoes.
And you have to have a pair of red heels if you got the little black dress.
Exactly.
The pop of color is required.
It's required. And then the third story, and the second one, first one takes place in Paris. The second one takes place mainly in London. The third one takes place mainly in Kiev, which I've been there.
I didn't see that coming.
It's crazy. And Kiev's got, there's so many things I left out of that one. But it was great when we visited there. It was horrible and interesting. It was right at the war, when the war first began.
Okay. And so what took you there? Was it
a mission trip?
I was going to say,
yes.
Was it a mission trip?
Yes.
And yet you came away with, I want to murder people in a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I always want to murder people. But I so far have only ever done it in a book.
Well, don't ever say never, right? Please, please, Kim.
But it was just so interesting that I included a whole lot of crazy details. I made some great friends while we were in Ukraine. It was really fun.
Did any of them show up as characters in the book?
Maybe.
Did any of them know their characters in the book?
No. No, there's always characters.
Yeah.
Every character, I think, that is in either of my books is based on a little pinch of someone I know.
I always say that I've got a good imagination, but it's not that good.
It's not that good.
I mean, I'm a student of the world around me, which it sounds like you are too, with your Kiev settings and your characters.
I loved it. So
now, with the series, you mentioned that you felt like you wrapped that story up.
I wrapped that story up. There's a lot of subtext in the story that indicates that we've got a pair of characters that were in a relationship before, and then another pair of characters that were in a business relationship before.
Right.
And so
this I remember.
Yeah. So I'm thinking at some point I will probably do some prequels that will maybe novellas, and maybe it's even one book but two, put together.
Yeah.
Something like that, just to give a little, fun background.
It's fun, and the readers, I find, really love when their old friends show up in new places.
Yes.
It's a treat for your fans.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. And I think it would also show how much the characters have grown. Just from...
If you're taking them back,
yeah. Yeah, because they grow a whole lot from the very first chapter to the last chapter of the third book. So.
And there were a few of them that had a significant amount of growth to do, even at the time the books were written.
Yes.
So maybe there could be some, sequels.
Well, and we might do that, yes. We may do some sequels, yes.
Now, so what is next for you, writing-wise? You finished up the Little Black Dress Project, but you got to be working on something else because writers write.
Yes.
What you got going on?
I have a, just out of my main editing, we're doing a one more time run through just to make sure that everything's still cohesive, all the things that I went back and fixed. It's actually a YA, sci-fi western.
Oh my gosh.
I know, yeah. It's just, and basically I think it's just something that I have to do to get out of here so that I can do the rest of other things. But it's kind of inspired by Annie Oakley and the Buffalo Bills Wild West show, but it takes place in space. So it's like horses in space.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. See, I love horses, and space is
you
good
do.
too. So
I love watching your videos with the horses. I do. I love that so much.
So for those of you that are podcast listeners and have never been inflicted with my social media, there's a lot of horses in my social media.
They're beautiful.
They are so awesome. I miss my horses right now. Okay, we can't talk about that.
Okay.
I'm starting to hyperventilate. I'm stuck in the big city without a horse hug.
Yes.
So
well, and I'm just about to start. I've got my outline together for a noir.
Really?
That's a contemporary noir set in downtown historic Dallas.
Wow.
And but instead of being narrated by the detective, it's narrated by the femme fatale.
Ooh.
So
And
it'll be fun.
so what is it? I would say multiple personality disorder, but what makes you write in all these different genres? I mean, I've talked to so many people here at Bouchercon who are like on their 30th mystery, but you are diverse in what you put down on paper.
I think I think it's a mental disorder. I really do.
It would be easier if it...
I work with kids a lot, so
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Because they're always coming up with crazy things. What if this would happen? But I do spend a lot of time with what if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that your imagination is so amazingly wide open and embracing all these different things to write about, and that what if is a question that you're willing to follow and explore. Because sometimes I think we get trapped in what we do, whether it's because we aren't asking enough what ifs or because we think we're meeting expectations, but you're brave.
I think a lot of it is that I'm afraid that I'm going to get trapped. I think that's.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it, and I was thinking earlier, looking through my Instagram feed, I follow a lot of archaeologists, so look for some stuff like that in the future. I
That
don't
would be
know,
cool.
some fun mysteries
That would be very fun. Now, okay, so if you had to pick your favorite child, your favorite, not actual child, but your...
I was going to say I know that one. I have two boys and a
it's
daughter.
a tie?
It's my daughter-in-law.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I like her.
See, I feel that about our daughters-in-law,
really
too.
like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know everything about your kids, which means you know,
Yeah, you know everything.
Yeah. But my daughters-in-law are perfect.
They're great.
But if you were to pick a favorite genre to write,
I really like mysteries.
is that your go-to read as well?
Yes. I started reading Nancy Drew as soon as I could read, and then went to Agatha Christie right after that, and I love Rex Stout. I love the Nero Wolfe novels. My dog's name is Archie.
So there's the
after
noir,
Archie
by the way.
Goodwin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. So that's just, if I need something fun to do, if I'm listening to an audiobook, it's usually a classic.
Okay, so paperback, ebook, or audio?
Oh, that's so hard. Well, I can work my day job and do an audiobook. I cannot do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I've got my iPad is loaded with lots of them, and they are convenient to carry and take with me, so I'm not carrying a duffel bag. But yeah, if I have my druthers, if it's snowing outside, real book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audio for me has been just life-changing because I find that I don't mind anything if I have an audiobook going.
Yes.
And Chirp. Have you done Chirp? Chirp is...
I just signed up for that. Yes.
You can consume your audiobooks at a much lower price. It's so nice.
I know.
And the Audible Daily Deal, of course. I always check that.
Yes.
But I find that the life changer above and beyond audio is the go to sleep function, where you put your ears in at night and you set it for half an hour, and then you haven't played the whole book in your sleep. Because I don't know about you, but my husband falls asleep like that.
Oh, and I do.
He's snoring and I'm not. And
I do.
So Highly recommend.
Okay, I'm going to have to try that.
Are any of your books going to be out, or are they out on audio?
They are not yet. I am working toward that. I would love to do
It's
that.
a fun and exciting thing. It seems to be that there are some people that just do not have the time or cannot read physical books, and that this really seems to reach them, and it's exciting.
Yes.
So I look forward to seeing how you branch out into that.
I would love to.
Now, with respect to writing as something that your family sees you do, I hear that your covers are very special on some of your books.
Yes, both of my children, both of my boys, are graphic designers, and so they have created my covers. I basically give them a laundry list of I want this, I want this, I want this, and they just do it, and they work together.
That's cool.
Yes, Little Black Dress. My youngest son, Sean, he did that completely. But the other two covers were collaborations. One, and they do everything. They start from pencil line drawings.
Yeah.
And
they
just
digitize it.
do
And yeah.
everything. It's amazing.
What's wonderful about that, besides that it's really rewarding to work with the people that you love.
Yes.
My husband is my brainstorming partner, and he's my story partner.
Yes.
And to me, that enriches the experience, like I'm sure it does for you with
Yes.
the covers. But they're completely unique.
They
you
are.
aren't, like so many of us, having to rely on stock photos and stock art.
It's so hard. I look at I do research as much as I possibly can. I will spend hours and hours and hours in bookstores just looking at covers, and I do this where you stand back and you hold your
Yeah.
finger. It says, oh, what does that look
thumbnail,
like?
yeah.
Yes.
How's it
What
looking
does that
thumbnail?
look
This
like?
is what the reader's gonna see.
Exactly. And they really have stepped up and pretty much given me everything I've ever wanted. So that's been really
For a mother to
fantastic.
be able to say that about her children. Now notice she said that in relation to the covers. She did say that her daughter-in-law is her favorite child.
Yes.
So,
yes.
know.
She doesn't. She never gives me any kind of. She doesn't ever call me out on anything either.
Aw,
So that's
kids.
pretty nice. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And so what do you think of your first Bouchercon?
I'm pretty excited. I got to shake hands with Hank Ryan and
Cool.
James Patterson earlier.
Super cool.
Yeah. So and that was really fun. But I've already met some very sweet people. And
It's really this is billed as a fan convention, and half the people here are readers and half the people here are authors. But everybody here really is a reader.
Yes.
I mean, authors are
I think
readers.
so, yes.
Didn't you read obsessively or you
yeah,
still do?
no, I don't as much as I used to. Well, I mean, I guess if you count the Audible books or
Yeah.
audiobooks,
I
yes.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different experience,
It's a different
but it still
experience.
counts.
But yeah, I was telling someone earlier. I checked out Little Women in the 3rd grade so many times that my librarian would not let me check it out anymore. She said, "No, move on."
That just makes my heart warm.
I think I filled up the card.
Oh my God. Okay, so favorite books as a kid, Little Women.
Little Women
obviously.
for sure. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chronicles of Narnia. Was,
Yes.
I mean, my mom started reading that to me before, so all of that. But I really started Agatha Christie pretty young.
I used to go into my mom's bathroom, whatever was beside the tub that she was
Yes.
reading.
Yes.
When I was a teenager, young teen, that's what I was reading. And so people will ask authors, often expecting the answer to be something highfalutin, where'd you get your education to become a writer? And the answer would be by reading my mom's books, because that started a lifelong, delving into writing.
I think that, and especially if I was able to check out a book that I wasn't supposed to because I was not in that grade level or whatever, then it's, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty exciting, which reminds me of 6th grade, New Year's Eve. I was spending the night at Dana Epley's house.
Yes.
Okay? This is high school.
Yes.
Y'all just bear with us. Spending the night at Dana Epley's house, and we were passing around a copy of Judy Blume's Forever. Okay, so you know what age you are if that was what you were doing
Yes.
in
Yes.
6th grade, is sneaking to read Forever. But authors like Judy Blume,
Yes.
series like Trixie Belden, Nancy Drew,
Yes.
all of those, literally, it's not overstating it to say they shaped who I am.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason we're here.
Yes. Well, in the third grade, Miss Jordan at South Georgia Elementary was my teacher, and she, after the Little Women fiasco with the library, I started with the Nancy Drew, and literally if I could do 1 or 2 a week, I would, go through there. And I had 3 friends that during recess, one of us, and we switch around. One of us was George, one of us was Bess, and one of us was Nancy. That was it.
That.
We're solving problems out on the playground.
I love that.
So.
And, when you advance that to the grown-up version, it looks like this. Or if you're listening, it sounds like this. And I hope that you guys go out and check out Kimberly Black's books, The Little Black Dress Project. She has others as well, but this is for my mystery, suspense, and thriller listeners with a good, strong female protagonist, a James Bond dress. I love that. It's the best. And really get out there and figure out for yourself that the center of the literary universe is Amarillo, Texas. Ha! So, Kim, thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It has been fun.
And for you guys out there, don't forget to check out my website, PamelaFaganHutchins.com, where you can subscribe to and you can support the podcast. And check out some good books while you're there. This has been, gotta say it, a solely owned and copyrighted production of Authors on the Air Radio Network. And I really appreciate Pam Stack, our producer of this network of shows, and how she supports authors and helps us in supporting each other. So Pam, you rock. And so do you, listeners. Thanks for tuning in.